morning, folks. Sandamtod here in the car, of course. As a matter of course, sun's out, yay. Yesterday was a shitstorm in Missouri all throughout. It was like extreme lightning snow or thunder snow, whatever the fuck they call it, ice, sleet, high wind advisory, fog. Fucking not just in Kansas City area, but the whole state. I mean, it had the rain. I think there's even a tornado watch in part of it, you know, and it's just kind of crazy. So I filmed yesterday, but the roads were really icy, so I had it in the clip. I don't know if it buzzed or not. I didn't get the video together, so I might combine some of that with this to get up so you can just see how it was yesterday. But yeah, things are going all right. Health-wise, still good. You know, you wake up sometimes, and every once in a while in the morning I'll wake up, my stomach feels a little, you know, just unsettled, but not like pain or anything. I mean, it just feels like, you know, I don't know, it could even be hunger for all I know, but any kind of pain at this point I just attribute as bad. You know, so yeah, glad I have my sunglasses on. That sun's doing his job this morning. Yeah, so driving in, I went to 3 thrift stores last weekend. I didn't film in it. I took the camera in and filmed, I think, in one of them, but the other 2 I didn't film in. I was looking for a CD drive to put back into my old PC, thinking maybe that's what the issue was with not being able to get the hard drive to read the disc. I'm thinking I needed to get one with the old ribbon cable attachment. I'm thinking I pulled my old one out of my PC and maybe put one in that's not a direct, because if I hook it up with the CD drive as the pin, first the master drive, and then the one I'm trying to initialize as an Xbox drive as the slave drive, it should be chained directly, and there shouldn't be any problem with it not being able to read the disc or find it. So anyway, I went to 3 thrift stores, found nothing but overpriced bullshit. On Facebook, I'm subscribed, or whatever the hell it's called, friended to Business 17's Facebook page, and he said his thrift store just doubled the prices on everything out of the blue, and he was a little perplexed by it. They had some sports titles and bullshit, and they wanted like $8 or $9 a piece for them now, and they used to be like, you know, $2 or $3. But that's the way it's been around here. And I mean, I told him in a comment, I was like, yeah, I went to the thrift store over the weekend, and they had 2 Xbox in the case, like there's some kind of like artifact from years past. One of them had a power cord, and the other one had no cords at all, or hookups or controllers or anything. And the one on top, that I believe didn't have any cords, said $25 as is on it. And so I was like, okay, so you're just going to sell me the deck with no hookups or anything for $25, and it might not even work. I'm not that concerned if it didn't work or if it threw a code, because I've figured out some things by doing soft mods. There's a hot swap trick you can do with your modded Xbox where you can install the OS to the hard drive, as long as the hard drive's still good. If you're having any kind of problems, you just reinstall that OS by hot swapping the hard drive, and you can just restore any of them back to factory, which is fine. But I already have 2, and I was like, yeah, I've been messing around, but you know, the soft mod thing, I haven't been able to get the hard drive deal to work. So I was like, $25, and I actually considered it at one point. I mean, considering the last Xbox I saw was in a bag and everything. It was nice. They had controllers and games and shit. I think they wanted like $65 for it or something. All I wanted was the bag, you know. So I was like, yeah, nah, I'll pass. But yeah, and then they had like a PlayStation 1 in the case. I didn't see any cords for it or anything. $20, you know. And then they had a bunch of like bullshit like PS2 titles and some 360 sports titles, and that was about it, you know. So that was at the family store, and then at the that's not the one I filmed inside. And then at the other one, the disabled veteran store, I did film in there, and I'll throw it on here, I guess. This is going to be a hell of a video. Throw it on here. That was the first place I went, and they had some name brand hookup cords and stuff, but and I considered buying them at one point. They had a controller, I believe, for the Wii, one of those hand, like not the nunchuck thing, but an actual controller type of deal for, I think it was $4 or $5. And I considered buying the cords and stuff, but when I got up front, the line was so freaking long. I was like, nah, forget this. And then when I was standing there looking at it, one of the hookup cords that I was looking at, I noticed that the prongs that plugged into the back of the system, not the back of the system, the back of the TV or whatever, were kind of chewed up looking. And I was like, ah, screw it. Because the cords were only 99 cents a piece. But long line, one of the cords looked slightly chewed up. And they didn't have what I really went there for. I was like, fuck it, I'm done. And I left, and I went to the thrift world. It was the same thing. It looked like they had kind of moved a bunch of their shit in the back to the thrift world, because it smelled like latex paint in there, and it looked like they just painted the whole inside of the building. So I'm thinking at night maybe they were painting the building, you know, maybe not over the weekend, but at some point they were painting it during the nights, you know, and having it open during the day, but they just don't have that much stock out on the shelf because of it. Now we're getting into some ice again, so I need to be kind of careful. So I'm going to sign off. I'll show you a little bit of the weather from yesterday, and I'll show you the thrift store, I guess, even though there's nothing really spectacular about it. And that'll give you a little mix in this video of things to be bored by. And I'll try to do something soon. Like I said, it's really been kind of lean on my normal content. I'd say 90% of the time I'm doing stuff on video games. So it's just been kind of lean on that, because I'm not engaged in collecting at the moment and playing. I just keep kind of floating from thing to thing, whatever strikes my fancy in the moment. I might only play for 2-3 days and then move on to something else. So I'm not sticking with anything. So yeah. So anyway, I'll let you go, and we'll move on to yesterday, and then we'll have the thrift store at the end, and then we'll call it a vid. All right, folks. Talk to you later. Bye. Morning, folks. Sandamtod here. We had a little bit of an ice incident roll through last night. I think down south they got close to a quarter, maybe even a half-inch ice. I don't think we got but a little glazing. I need to wait and make sure the traffic's able to stop. That guy's trying. He slid a little bit, but it's like super slick. I mean, I don't think it's as bad as they thought it was gonna be, but at the same time, it's pretty dangerous. So they're advising most of the schools are closed. They're advising people, if they can, to stay home. But I didn't get a text from my boss or anything saying that the power was out at the building or we were going to open late or anything, so I'm headed in. We'll just take it slow. And it's about all you can do. I hope that everybody else is safe and warm. I'm not going to hold the camera because the weather conditions are so crappy, so I thought I'd just shoot out the window a little bit. This guy's only going 25 in a 50, so I'm going to get over. I'm not trying to like speed through here, but I usually go 60 on this road and I'm going like 35, so it's like slow motion. But yeah, it's just one of those deals where they weren't sure exactly what was going to happen. But I mean, they predicted, their predictions have been kind of wonky all year. They predicted like 8 to 12 inches of snow one time, and we got like an inch, and you know, stuff like that. So you're better off sticking your hand out the window sometimes to see what it's really like. But they're worried about, like, this is a bridge, and they get, you know, because there's nothing underneath it. I felt my car just kind of shimmy just slightly to the left there when I got on there. But our trek to work is on pretty main roads, so they have them, you know, relatively clear, or the traffic has worn it down a little bit. So we're not, you know, driving. There's a groove, you know, tire track grooves where people have been driving, so you just kind of follow the yellow brick road. But anyway, yeah. Other than that, not a whole lot's going on. Of course, I haven't, since I talked to you last, I said I was playing Symphony of the Night. I haven't played it since then. I was goofing around because my cousin Joe came over, and I had given him a 40 gig modded Xbox, and we really didn't, like, you know, clean it out or look at what I had put on there or not. And so he brought it over, and we installed some different PlayStation and Xbox games on it and stuff. I just can't believe how much more. I mean, well, granted, it is like, what? What's 300 divided by 40? Like 7? Yeah, so I mean, it's like 7.5 times bigger, I guess. But or 6 times, I don't know. Fuck it, math was never my strong suit. But it's just amazing how much more I have on my system. I mean, I've got, like, you know, almost 70 Xbox games, Xbox titles loaded on there that are mine that I ripped onto there, and then I've got another 40 or 50 PlayStation games and another 80 Sega CD games, and then I have full libraries of a lot of other things because the ROMs are so small. But, and that's, Joe has the Sega, you know, Genesis and Super Nintendo and Master System, those ROMs, he's got those libraries. But when you start getting into the other ones, the files start getting bigger. But I was goofing around because he wanted Final Fantasy VII, and I have it, but I didn't have ISO files or bin and Q files for it. So I stuck it into my PC and created some bin and Q files in a program called Magic ISO, and loaded them on there, and they seem to be playing okay. But what happened was I started playing the Final Fantasy VII, and then it just seemed like it's running it. It's like, but it is emulation, you know. But you're running it, and it's probably running it slightly slow. And some of the music seems like it's not skipping, but just hesitating. Like maybe there's a frame rate issue or something. I started messing with some of the things you could kind of turn off and on to see if it would make a difference. And I think it did a little bit on some of it. But what ended up happening was I stuck my Final Fantasy VII disc into my PlayStation 3 to check it out. And the transitions between when you go into a fight, like you'll hear a sound and then there's usually like the screen kind of spins in like a spiral or something and kind of blurs. It skips that. It's like you hear the sound and then it immediately goes into the fight and skips the little transition thing, which, you know, is not a big deal. I don't think anybody, if you hadn't played it in a long time, like I wouldn't have even known. I mean, if I had started playing the ROM, because that's the thing, I started playing the ROM first, and it sounded a little off or something, and I was just like, I'm gonna stick in the game in a real console and see how it runs. It does have some slight little, I wouldn't really call them hiccups because they weren't glitches, but it just seemed like it was skipping certain transitions and that it was maybe running slightly slower, but all in all, it seemed, you know, it was definitely playable, and I would play it, and I'm gonna install it. But it was like 4 discs, and so I had to rip all of, or is it 3? It might be 3 because I ripped a couple other games that were like 3 or 4 discs on there too. And to tell you the truth, I've never played an emulator version of a game where there were multiple discs. And I know inside the program, like, I guess if you reach the end of the disc and it told you to put the next disc in, you can click into the submenu and tell it to load a new disc image, and then I guess you just load the next disc image. But I've never reached that point to where I had to switch, so I don't know how it works or if it even will work, and whether or not you'd be stuck, you know, not being able to play multiple disc games, which, you know, kind of suck. I guess I won't know till I play one that far, but anyway, I started goofing around with Final Fantasy VII again. I mean, it happens all the time. I told you I just jump and get distracted and whatever. Hey folks, Sandamtod here at one of the local thrift stores. Thought I'd come in here for a second. I'm actually looking for a CD drive that's got the old SATA hookup, because I don't know, I'm still trying to figure out how to get my old computer to work to format those larger Xbox hard drives. So I kind of needed to get a cheap CD drive, so I thought I'd come here and check it out. So I'm gonna go in. I might film a little bit in there, and we'll get out of here. Might go to another one too. Not sure yet. All right, let's go on in. Most of the video game shit, I think they keep up by the counter nowadays. At the car wash, yeah. Monitors, keyboards, DVD player, some miscellaneous controllers here. Got a corded PS2 controller for $5. 2 of them. Is this a Wii controller?
Yeah. I don't know. That might not be that bad. I might pick that up. $5. I'm not seeing any just loose CD drives though. Sometimes you'll see them, but I don't. Thought maybe it's like phones and shit. Some kind of router. I don't know if this Wii controller is really worth my time to stand in line to pay for it. I don't really even play mine that much. Yeah, well, this is the first store I came to, so. Plus they're still in front, which I don't know what's going on up there. Looks like Xbox cord. That is an Xbox cord. I don't know what they want for it. Just says 99 cents. I might actually get this. Xbox hookups are kind of hard to come by. Looks like a PlayStation or something, but I don't know. There's some more junk in there. I'm gonna shut this off for a minute so I can dig through. So I'm leaving this thrift store. After further review, I decided not to pick up that Xbox cord because one of the ends on one of the plugins, I think it was the video plugin, was a little bit like chewed looking, and I'm not sure it would work. And they had a couple of PlayStation hookups for like PlayStation 1 and 2 that looked brand new, but the line was so fucking long in there, I didn't want to wait through it for a Wii controller that I don't even play the Wii, and 2 cords that I don't really need, and one that I would have liked to have had but was kind of chewed up. So I decided against it, so I just ended up putting the stuff back and left. And this parking lot's even a fucking madhouse. It's a madhouse! A madhouse! So I'm gonna go over to this other thrift store. I doubt that I'll find any video game stuff over there, but maybe I might find a CD PC drive. They didn't have anything kind of like that here. They didn't actually have any kind of hardware at all. They had some monitors, and that was about it. So anyway, I'm gonna sign off till I get to the other thrift store. We're going to the old Salvation Army now. That was the Red Racks, disabled veterans there. So yeah, it's only about a block away. You won't miss me that much. Alright. Alright, folks, we are at the family store. This place used to be a fucking gold mine. Now it's like a dried up gold mine. But we're not here for video game stuff specifically today. We're looking for a piece of PC hardware maybe they might have. They don't want any firearms on premise. So for all you concealed carry people. $25 for an Xbox. I've got 2 of them. I don't really need one that bad, but that's not horrible, although I was getting them for about 15. I need a steady cam. Got stereos, alarm clocks, yeah. We got a bunch of old computers at my work. They might have a CD drive in them that they just have in the storeroom because everybody got new computers. Because I'm not seeing what I'm looking for specifically. Cherubs, some surround sound speakers, some speakers for your computer, a couple dirty monitors, some keyboards. I don't know what a clear is. Motorola. Captain Tennille. Beethoven. Not seeing a whole lot, folks, so might let this one go. Walking Dead thing on the wall there. Well, I'll turn it back on if I see some more stuff.